Welcome back everyone. So first video in over a week I think, and wow, what a lot has been going on. I've been quiet for a number of reasons. I've had loads to get on and sort out. Opening up a Spanish bank account, opening up just opening up different bits and pieces, getting ourselves somewhere to live permanently. It's all been absolutely manic over the last week, and
speed camera ahead.
A big update. Let me just turn this off for a minute. Big updates for us today, really. I've just dropped my daughter, my son-in-law and two of my granddaughters off at Alicante airport. They've been over for the last week. There's been a few tears this morning. It's horrible to have to say goodbye to them. They won't be over now until probably August. Whether I'll be going home between now and then, I don't know yet. I've got no plans right now to be going back to the UK. I've got no reason to go back to the UK now. But yeah, finding somewhere to live out here has been not too problematic, but not as easy as I'd hoped. We've managed to do that right now. We're trying to get settled and basically get our lives in order over here. A few things to go through today. One of them of which is pretty obvious, I would have thought, after Tommy's release yesterday. We'll speak about that later. First thing, I did a video about a week ago, having a right old moan about someone called James who had a right dig at me on his ex account, and I said I'd be talking to that individual, and I managed to do that. I think was it last night? And look, there's a couple of things I want to clarify here. Look, first of all, I said in a recent video that activism hadn't been working, and to a degree I stand by that. It's got a lot of people into a lot of trouble, and as I explained to James, as a YouTuber with a very large following, and it is that very large following that I believe has brought attention on me, on my channel, on what I'm saying. With that large audience comes a large sense of responsibility for me. I strongly believe that, and I firmly believe that it's always been my job to keep my viewers, to keep my audience within the law, to make sure they don't get into any trouble, to make sure that their activism doesn't lead them into any trouble. That is a responsibility that I feel and that I won't give up. Having said that, James did have a point when he says that a lot of people, that's all they have is their activism, and I get that and I respect that. And there has been some victories for people, for the activists out there, albeit fairly minor victories. But look, activism is of course important, but it's got to be within the law. Because if it's outside of the law, all it does is get people into goddamn trouble, and I don't want that to happen. Surely that's not too difficult for people to understand. I care about my audience. I understand and respect my responsibility towards them. So when we talk about attending events or demonstrations or whatever, my golden rule is, look, if a demonstration has been agreed and organised in association, in conjunction with the authorities, with the police, that's fine. Go along, behave yourselves, put your opinion over, put your point across. That is lawful, legal, and that is our right. It remains our right. Where I draw the line are flash demos where there is no pre-arrangements with the police. There's no agreements with the authorities. People turn up willy-nilly. There's no security. There's no organisation. There's no stewarding. That leads to problems. That sort of activism, for me, is dangerous and it doesn't work. But in general, maybe I didn't put my point across as well as I should have done when I said activism hadn't been working. Certain types of activism hasn't been working. If you look back at all the problems that occurred last summer, they all occurred because of unorganised events that turned into bloody riots. No security, no agreements with the law, no agreements with the police, no police liaison. That led to a disaster. And I don't care what anyone says, it was a disaster. Second thing that I want to talk about that I haven't covered yet really is my views on Lucy Connley. I was shocked to the core last week when Lucy Connley's appeal was turned down. I was utterly convinced in my mind that, look, there's a bit of time passed by. Lucy served a long time now in jail, and I honestly thought I'd have put my house on the fact that she would have been allowed to go home to a young daughter, to a partner who isn't particularly well. And when they refused Lucy's appeal, when they turned that down, and then I listened to Keir Starmer's comments about it in the House of Commons, wow. And that is the sort of nonsense that just confirms to me that I've made the right decision for me and my family to be here. Will I stop fighting? No. Will I stop saying in what I believe? No. Am I going to put a target on my head for those bastards to come along and do whatever they want to do to me and my family? I'm not going to do that either. And I don't trust this government, I don't trust the authorities, I don't trust the police to do a fair job. Do we have lawfare in the UK right now? Of course we do. Everyone knows it. And if you want proof of that, even the White House, even the President and the Vice President of the most powerful nation on earth, the United States of America, even the American government, are said to be monitoring the situation with Lucy Connley. How did we ever get into this situation? How did we ever get into a position where a foreign government is keeping their eye on the human rights of a female political prisoner? Wow, just wow. But that's where we are. Talking about political prisoners, the lion has been freed from the cage, hasn't he, this week? Thank God. I was elated yesterday to see Tommy being released from prison, albeit coming out looking more like Robinson Crusoe than Tommy Robinson, right? But I see he's got his Turkish barber haircut, and he's looking more like the person that we know. Great to see him back out with his family, and he's back with a bang, isn't he? He's well, he's a unique individual, isn't he? There is only one Tommy, and I'm in awe of the guy. You know, I mean, look, there's no one else like him. Not only in the United Kingdom, there's no one else like him in the world, is there, really? He's a completely and utterly unique individual. And over the last couple of 3 weeks, I think there's a lot of confusion amongst my viewers as to my position with Tommy, with the movement. I thought I'd made myself clear. I want to be known and I want to be associated for me and what I say and what I do, not for what anyone else does, whether I love them or hate them, whether I like them or whether I loathe them. I'm responsible for my words and my actions only, and no one else's. Good, bad or ugly. I will continue to say and fight for what I believe in. If I think people are right, I will say so. If I think people are wrong, I'll call them out on it. Do I still support Tommy? Absolutely, without question. There is no doubt about that. But whilst he was away, things started to get really quite sinister. And I think the reasons behind that is because, look, when the main man is away and unable to answer critics, unable to answer rumours, unable to answer accusations, then what happens is there are people out there, bad actors, who are vying for power, vying for position, trying to climb up the ladder, trying to take over, trying to ruin things for everyone. And frankly, that is one of the reasons why I got very, very tired of it. Not because of, what's the right word? Not because I had any doubts or because I had any waning of my beliefs in what I believe in or what I do, but because I couldn't put up with the bad actors. I've got no time for the bad actors. I've got no time for the troublemakers. Let them get on with it. Now the main man is out. He can address it all. He can put things to bed. He can put things right. And I'm sure he will. I haven't spoken to him yet. He's only been out 24 hours. And I'm sure he's got a lot of people in front of me that he wants to speak to before he speaks to me. But he knows full well that I still support him, will always support him, and I'm there for him if he needs me, if he wants me. I'm happy to help. But like I've always said, everything I do will be done legally and properly. We'll have to see how it goes on now. I mean, look, I'd like to see him move forward politically, but I truly believe that Tommy sees his future as a journalist, and he is a journalist, and he is the best, the bravest, and the most relentless journalist that this country has. When you look at what he does and what he reveals and unveils by comparison to those who call themselves journalists like the BBC and Sky News and organisations, there is no comparison. This is a man that's in a different league, on a different level, in every respect. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. And you know, look, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there yesterday for his release. In a way, I'm glad that I wasn't, because I don't want people accusing me trying to, you know, get my photo opportunity or whatever. No. It's never been about that for me. It's always been about what's right, what's good for him, what's best for him and his family, and what's best for the country. So, look, God bless him. Give him time. Give him the space that he needs. Give him a chance to get his head straight. And we'll see how it goes from there. Obviously, he's already spoken about the event in September. That is an event that I will be supporting entirely, because it will be an event that is organised properly. It will be in conjunction with the police, and we'll have police liaison, so completely and utterly safe and legal, and it's worthy of my support, of all of our support. We should make the effort to support that. Right, last thing for today. Oh, blimey. It's been a right tearjerker this week, so saying goodbye to two of my granddaughters and my daughter, and then on top of that, my other daughter and her partner found a Greyhound, a rescue Greyhound. They believe he's about a year old, and he's been, well, let's just say he's not been looked after. He's got about 50 wound marks on his body where he's been badly treated. And he's basically lived his life being tied up to a tree or a post or whatever. I don't think this poor animal has ever been allowed to lay down in his life. And he's clearly been abused. Thank God, thank goodness, my daughter and her partner, after a lot of arguing, a lot of negotiating, a lot of problems, have managed to get this dog away from the people that owned it. I'm pleased to report that this dog is now back at home with my daughter, my son-in-law, my granddaughter, and their other rescue dog that they rescued a couple of years back. The poor little mite has got a lot of issues, but within 3 days he's already showing signs of improvement. He's basically so tired he's slept for 3 days because he's basically been used to living sitting down or standing up. He's now playing with a toy that he was initially frightened of, and it's so heartwarming. I mean, look, we're all massive animal lovers, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, is just completely animal mad, and she'd have a bloody house full of them. But you can only do your best for these lovely creatures, and seeing this little, this beautiful little soul get a new life is really heartwarming. I'll have popped some video up of him so you can have a look at him, and I'll let you know how he gets on. It's going to be a long road because I think there is some psychological damage there. That's not going to be easy to repair. The physical stuff is a little bit more doable, but the mental scars are obviously a bit tougher. But now he's going to get showered with love and affection. He's going to have a great home. And this is not the first time either, because my daughter's original dog, the dog that you might have seen jumping in the swimming pool in my live stream, he was a rescue as well. And he was not as bad as this one, but he'd also lived his life in a cage and was very, very wary, very unsure of people. Wouldn't come anywhere near me. But now when I go round, he jumps up, sits on my lap. He's happy as could be, the happiest dog in the world. And we're hoping to do the same with this one. His name was Fred, but he doesn't answer to anything because no one's ever given him any affection until now. No one's ever called him or looked after him, I don't think. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you up to date with that. Right, guys, that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching. I'll be back with the lives very soon, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, everyone.